Hello everyone. Today is going to be the second part to my discussion video of my origins and upbringing as a YouTuber. Last time I discussed how I got into YouTube, how many different creators on the platform inspired me to become a creator myself, and how through a series of rather interesting and kind of random events, I ended up accidentally uploading my first video to YouTube, which was a demonstration video of my white 42-inch Hunter low profile. So from there, on the channel, The Bittersweet Hero 01, I would continue to upload videos because I saw the videos on YouTube and I thought, wow, this is actually kind of neat, you know, I'm actually uploading videos onto YouTube. I didn't really know what I was doing or how I was doing it, but I uploaded more videos. And as I briefly mentioned last part, eventually my cousin figured out what was going on, and at that point he was out of his YouTube phase, so he said, you know what, I can just give you the channel, it's no big deal. So from there I continued to upload videos onto this channel, and after about a year, I want to say it was, I couldn't tell you the exact time, but give or take a year, what happened was I somehow got locked out of the account. I got locked out of the account and it wouldn't accept the password. And I confirmed with my cousin multiple times what the password was, and he told me what it was verbatim over and over, and yet for whatever reason, I would go onto my little Android phone, you know, go to sign into account, type in the username, type in the password, and it would never ever accept it. And whether that's because my cousin was remembering the password wrong, or if it was just the crappy Android phone just being crappy, I don't know. Because that phone had a fair share of weird glitches about it, which I can get into more a bit later. You know, it was from probably the year 2011 or 2012, and it served its purpose for the time, but by today's standards it's very, very low production quality. And you can see that with how low the video quality is in those old videos of mine as well. So, anyways, so I get locked out of this account. I can't sign back in despite how hard I try. And I don't exactly remember what happened, but I believe what I did is I started making a bunch of new accounts, and I remember I made, I think, 2 or 3 new ones, like in an attempt either to get back into the Bittersweet Hero or to just create a new one. I don't quite remember. I was young and probably frustrated at the time, so I was just doing it at random. And then there was this one that somehow ended up working out, and that was what was Waluigi Man 8689. And that YouTube channel, that name came about because Waluigi probably is still my favorite Mario character in the Mario franchise. However, back then, like when I was younger, you know, he was like, I wouldn't say I idolized him per se, but like he was a very fun character, you know. Like I love playing as him in all the Mario spin-off games like Mario Kart and Mario Party. Just, you know, like his lean physique and just like, ah yeah, like I just love the sound of his voice, you know. So I went with that name. So and I remember typing in the password. I just remember typing in like some random words mashed together, like toilet soup or trash boat or something like that, you know. Of course, yeah. So I just didn't pay any sort of attention to what I was doing when creating the password, and that later came back to bite me in the rear end. So somehow the Waluigi Man 8689 account went through, and I was able to use that account from there on forward to post videos to YouTube. This account went strong for maybe about a year, maybe a little longer, until the same thing happened. I got locked out, and I just typed the password in at random. I didn't write it down. I didn't do anything to try and remember it. I was screwed. I couldn't get back into the account. So from there, what did I do? I had to create another new one. And at this point, this was January of 2015, and this time I was a semi-mature 7th grader, and I thought, okay, no more screwing around this time. This time we're going to create an account on the computer. For Christmas that year, Christmas 2014, my family had gotten a brand new computer. I said, okay, no more screwing around. This time we're going to ditch the Android phone, and what we're going to do is create an account on the new computer. And I also went out and bought a video camera, which is the same video camera I'm using currently. And quick side note about that is that as of recent, I have been getting increasingly dissatisfied with the quality that this video camera I'm currently using provides. The lighting is oftentimes, for lack of a better term, garbage. It is complete and utter garbage. Where if it is not perfectly sunny, not a cloud in the sky outside, the lighting looks absolutely awful, and I either need to brighten it up crazy high in editing, or the video just needs to be super dark, or I use, not natural light, like I'll turn on the light on the fan if it's a fan video most of the time, or I might use a floodlight I have lying around. The reason I bring this up is because I may be ditching this camera for good soon and perhaps either investing in a higher quality video camera or just using my iPhone to record all videos from here on out. It's something I'm considering, so just wanted to throw that out there real fast. Not sure if I'll actually go through with it, but it's some food for thought. Anyway, so tangent aside, apologies for that. So I went out and bought a video camera, the one I'm using here currently, and I made the new account on the computer. So I made this new account on the computer, and this time I was absolutely extra careful to remember the password. I typed it in 3 separate times, I wrote it down on like 2 different sheets of paper. I knew what the password was this time. And as for the username, I made it the Russian Fazbear. The reason being, my last name, Russian, and Fazbear, because of course this was early 2015, Five Nights at Freddy's was peak popularity at the time. Me and my friends at school were all obsessed with that game, talking about, the background and mystery. Of course, at that time, only the first 2 games were out, I believe, so it was very much, just like Purple Guy, Phone Guy, Mike Schmidt, Jeremy Fitzgerald, there was no, like, Afton family and, like, long chain of restaurants, sister locations, mediocre melodies, all that other convoluted stuff that got introduced later, so anyways, so that's where that name came from, and yeah, it's very outdated. It's a product of its time, so again, I could always change it to something like The Russian Kinger, pay homage to what I originally wanted my channel name to be, or something like that, I don't know. Well, so anyways, so that account was created January of 2015, and that is the account I have been using ever since. Thankfully, I've never had any password problems with that one, and it's been very smooth sailing ever since I abandoned that old Android phone. As for that old Android phone, some issues I would often overcome with it are, well, first of all, the most prevalent one that you viewers may have noticed if you were around back in those days is maybe about 25 to 50% of the time when I would upload a video on that Android phone, what would happen is at some point in the video, whether it be beginning, middle, or end, the video would freeze for a few moments, and then there'd be some sort of like screen glitch. That's the easiest way I can describe it. It would freeze, and then it would kind of stutter and keep moving forward after like a bunch of pixels show up on the screen, sort of. And then, for the remainder of the video, the sound would completely cut out. It was very annoying to have to deal with because I could not go back and edit that in any way. The only thing I could do was delete the video and re-upload it again. And with how many videos I uploaded back in the day, it was very hard to keep track of every one of them. The first video, no, computer turned on. The first video I recognized this happening on was my rant of the show Rabbids Invasion. I remember watching an episode of that, thinking it was absolutely awful, a very shameless Minions ripoff. Were the Minions even around back then? I think they were. Not nearly as popular as they are today, though. And I had a lot to say about this show. And of course, I emulated Pie Guy Rules and wanted to be just like him, so I took to YouTube and ranted about how bad I thought the show was. But of course, the sound cut out and you couldn't hear a damn thing I had to say. It pissed me off to no end. And there were so many other videos that this happened on. It drove me up a wall. And I got much better about catching it later on as my YouTube career progressed on that channel, but I also could have sworn that the more videos I uploaded, the more frequently it happened. Because towards the end, like late 2014, I could have sworn that the likelihood of it happening went up to like 75%. Maybe it was just me, but I swear it was getting more frequent. Another issue I encountered is I could really not edit the videos in any way. I would record them onto the camera app of the Android phone, excuse me, and then from there, I would directly upload them to YouTube. The only leeway I had is there was a pause feature on the video recording app, which meant I could record scenes and then pause it and not have to, like turn the camera off, turn it back on, and then edit them together later. That was the one perk it had. However, that was a small perk. And one other thing that was kind of annoying is I could not upload a video that was longer than 15 minutes. I could record a video that was longer than 15 minutes, but if the video itself exceeded 15 minutes and I tried to post it, it would say, cannot upload video, this video is too long. And as you can imagine, that also pissed me off to a very high degree. So yes, a slew of production problems ensued with that old Android phone, and once I ditched it when I went to this channel, things drastically improved for me. Now, as for the actual kind of videos I uploaded, well, if you look back at them, every single one of them pretty much can be traced back to me emulating / shamelessly ripping off a YouTuber I was inspired by. Whether it be my reviews and rants of movies and TV shows, me ripping off Pie Guy Rules, my funny freak-out sketch videos, me ripping off Waffle Pone, my Webkinz Adventure videos or Mario action figure videos, me ripping off Super Mario Logan, and the list goes on. There was also, probably the worst one in my opinion, was my attempted Let's Play videos where I had no recording software, no idea how to edit or commentate or do any of that stuff. So what I did is I would just set up my Android phone, aim it at the TV screen, and record myself playing the video game like that. And the picture always turned out horrible, and the sound quality was hit or miss. And yeah, I did that because again, at this point I had watched Slim Kirby play through like all the Mario Party games that were out at the time, and I wanted to be just like him. I mean, I love the Mario Party series, I would play it all the time with friends, and I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to share my knowledge of Mario Party with the world, so to say. So I would set up the camera, play Mario Party, probably lose a lot since I wasn't too terribly good at it back then, and yeah, it was pretty dumb and pretty shameless, but I did it, and there's no way I can delete it off the internet now because I'm locked out of that account. There's probably no way I can ever salvage it, so whatever, not a big deal. So that's basically what I did on those old channels. I would just upload videos that ripped off YouTubers I was inspired by. I was inspired, and they say imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery, as I wanted to be just like these guys. I mean, sure, there was the fact that they were, getting tens of thousands, or in some cases even hundreds of thousands of subscribers and views, and they were extremely popular from what they did, but there was also just the fact that I just wanted to be like them. Like, making those kinds of videos looked like it was a lot of fun, Like, Smosh making their sketch comedy videos, or Waffle Pone with their freak-out videos, or Slim Kirby just, like, talking about a video game that he's playing. Like, it looked fun to me. It looked like it was fun. So I tried my hand at pretty much everything. My old channel, Waluigi Man 8689, really was a variety channel, you could say. Now, the portion of the channel that most of you are probably the most interested in is the ceiling fan collecting aspect. And to be honest, there really isn't a whole lot to say about this. This was mainly just me videotaping my ceiling fans. And of course, this one too can hark back to me being inspired by the first few fan collectors I watched on YouTube. People like Will Howell, Matt Braun, Zachary Yarns, among others. So I would watch their videos, I would be inspired, and then I would want to videotape my ceiling fans myself. There was the Hunter low profile, the Crest hugger up in the guest room, the Quorum in the master bedroom still there to this day, as well as all the other fans. And it was also around this time that I really started to actually collect fans. I was, like 13, 14-ish, or actually more like 12 or 13, and the first fan I had gotten was a white 1987 Hunter Low profile that perfectly matched the one that was in my house's old kitchen. And that was the one that went up in my room and I was super excited about and wanted to videotape. And from there, I just got more fans and would just gradually videotape them as I got them. And of course, back when I was younger, I would mostly just collect to collect. I would see a fan, I would think it was cool looking, and I would buy it, One of the weirdest, one of the dumbest things I remember is, this was my birthday. I couldn't tell you the year, probably 2014, either 2014 or 15, I want to say. So there was a antique brass Casablanca Victorian on eBay auction. It had, I believe, a K5L on it, and it was either Slumber Quiet or Cardboard Box Variable Speed. I couldn't tell you. And it may have just been a K5, not a K5L, I don't know. But anyways, so I kind of wanted this fan. But what happened was my birthday was coming up and my mom said, I can take you to the Habitat store and you can pick out a fan there if you want. But if you don't see anything you like there, then you can bid on this fan on eBay. And I was like, okay, sure. So we go to the Habitat store and I pick out this Moss JCPenney fan with a 5-way light kit on it. And it's like, wow, I pick out this crappy Moss JCPenney fan that I no longer have. I either sold or donated it, in place of a Casablanca Victorian. Wow. We all do dumb things when we were younger, and I mean, it's not a huge deal today, I have Victorians for the ages now, but just kind of funny, looking back on those old memories. So, otherwise, I don't really have too much to say about the whole fan collecting thing. It's just kind of the same story as everyone else, I saw other YouTubers doing it, I was inspired, I wanted to make videos myself, I started collecting fans. At first I just kind of collected junk, but then later on I kind of skewed towards the more, higher end brands, as that is the story with most people. Perhaps later on I could always make a video talking about more so my origins as a fan collector and how I got into that, as I did briefly touch upon that here, however I didn't really go into it too deeply. So that is pretty much the long and the short of what happened with the Waluigi Man 8689 and Bittersweet Hero 01 channels, is that I just wanted to be a YouTuber really badly. I didn't really know what my area of focus was, so I just kind of uploaded anything and everything. And eventually I got locked out of both of those channels due to not knowing the password, and that led me to this channel here. And at first I did kind of do variety, I uploaded a couple gaming videos here, and I did have plans to do other types of videos as well. I mean, every once in a while I will still upload a sketch comedy video, for instance, the Angry Dad Learns a Broken Ceiling Fan parody video, which is over 2 years old at this point, but you get the idea. While this is mainly a ceiling fan channel, I do still do these Let's Talk videos. I do still upload a sketch comedy video every once in a while, or just some variety video. And now that I'm more mature and my production value has at least gone up a bit, I do have some ideas for maybe some other either loose ceiling fan content or completely different content in the future. So whether or not that actually happens, we'll see. But as for a full-on return to form of me going back to doing gaming videos and Mario action figure videos and all that, that's most likely not going to happen, but you never know. Life sometimes is a weird way of surprising you. Though I'm sure no one is losing any sleep over that, because my ceiling fan videos were always the ones that consistently got the most views and attention. As the Russian Fazbear, like I said, I did do some variety stuff on this channel at first, I would make videos showing off my video game collection, for instance. But by and large, I have been sticking to ceiling fan content on this channel as, like I said, I know that is what is the most popular and what most people want from me. But like I said, every once in a while I do like to branch out. They're also like me recreating those brief scenes from like SpongeBob and the Fairly Odd Parents in real life, like Tarzan, Lord of Shapes, or, you know, those ones. So, who knows? Maybe I'll make more videos like that in the future. But, anyways, without rambling on any longer, that pretty much covers it. That is pretty much my origins, upbringing, and history as a YouTube content creator. So I thank you all for 10 wonderful yet also turbulent years of being on this platform. Hopefully it just keeps going from where it is. I mean, life goes on, but YouTube has been getting to be a pretty interesting landscape as of late, so hopefully I can keep making videos for you all, and we'll just see. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. Alright, well, I thank you all for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.